So dreams. I want to talk about dreams today, and I've been putting on a few posts just to get everyone sort of in the right framework for finding out about dreams. So I'm going to read a few quotes that I have here by Carl Jung. Dreams are impartial, spontaneous products of the unconscious psyche, outside of the control of the will. They are pure nature. They show us the unvarnished natural truth, and are therefore fitted, as nothing else is, to give us back an attitude that accords with our basic human nature, when our consciousness has strayed too far from its foundations and run into an impasse. Impasse or impasse? I'm not really sure. The other one that I wanted to read to you guys is about the dream being, let me just find it. The doorway to the, sorry, I've got it here. The dream is the small hidden door in the deepest and most intimate sanctum of the soul, which opens to that primeval cosmic night that was soul long ago, before there was a conscious ego, and will be soul far beyond what a conscious ego could ever reach. So it's the idea that your soul is expressing itself through dreams, and so your soul is the absolute essence of who you are, and it's also the it also has consciousness, and it knows all of the unconscious stuff that you consciously don't know, and that it's always trying to kind of get you back to individuation. The other quote that I have here is, we've forgotten the age-old fact that God speaks chiefly through dreams and visions. I mean, whatever your idea of God is, dreams are invariably seeking to express something that the ego does not know and does not understand. Dreams are the guiding words of the soul. So there was a question a couple of days ago about sort of marrying up psychology with spirituality. And I'm not really sure that I answered that question properly, really. What I will say, I mean, I did kind of touch on the idea that I had at the time, which was that Jungian psychology, for me, marries up spirituality and psychology really well, because of the fact that Carl Jung was quite sort of quite a mystic, really, and he was known to be a mystic, and he was ridiculed for it. In a lot of his works, he kind of talks about alchemy, and he talks about spirituality and religion, and the importance of mythology, that it's the story of like the hero story. So for me, I always found that the two kind of intertwined really well. I guess like the idea of the dream, I mean, everyone would have their own idea about what they think a dream is, and what they think it's trying to, if they think that it's trying to tell them anything at all. But what I've noticed in my own life is that very often when I've taken the symbols from dreams and I've tried to develop them, I've found that I'm on the right track to knowing something that I don't consciously know about myself, and that only ever comes out of dreams. So and also, I mean, as I said before, that I mean I've dreamt, and then things have happened that I've dreamt about. I mean, I'm sure that everyone has had that you dream of something and then it comes true. And then there's also the compensation dreams. Perhaps there's something missing in your life, and then all of a sudden you find yourself kind of experiencing that thing that's missing. Let's just say you're single for many years, you might dream of having sex quite a lot because you're on your own, and you're missing that, and so in order to compensate for what you're missing, the dream state will kind of compensate you. Compensate you. Sounds like something you need to claim for with an insurance company. There's a hot gap in the market for that, I think. But yeah, so there are lots of ways in which I found that dreams are kind of trying to tell me something that I don't consciously know. I mean, I'd love to hear any other ideas that you guys have about dreams. I mean, just because that's my take on it doesn't mean that I'm right. Everyone has their own ideas about what's right and wrong, so I can't say that I'm right, and I can't even say that Carl Jung is right. For him, he was right, and for me, a lot of what he said is right. So I suppose it's like that with anything, just to be really critical and just decide what it is, what's right for you personally, and what you think is your understanding of these things are. So yeah, for me, dreams are most definitely very sort of magical. And I mean, my mum is from North Africa, and I think it's a cultural thing that we always spoke about dreams, and we still do. It's still a regular conversation, at least a few times a week, that we talk about our dreams. So it's something that was always a part of my life, and I was always surprised later on in life when I realised that, that not everyone does that. Not everyone talks about their dreams, but for me, I do. And very often, you know, when I'm in unenlightened company, just say, they just look at me like I've got two heads. But I often talk to children about dreams, and I'm always interested to hear about people's dreams. And I love to hear about the dreams that children have, and I love to make dream catchers of children as well, actually. And here's one that I made earlier. I didn't actually make this recently, it's my daughter who made that, but I like to make things about dreams and to talk about them. I just think there's something really kind of lovely about that experience of talking about something like that, and sharing that kind of I suppose very personal experience of having a dream. So I'm really enjoying all the dream conversation that's happening at the moment. I love to interpret, but really the most important interpretation is your own when you have a dream. But look at the symbols. What I've tried to do is give some examples of how I would interpret things. So I've talked about my own dreams on there, so that you kind of get an idea of how I've seen different scenarios and how I've read them, in the hope that you might also try to start reading in the same way, to see things symbolically, to start understanding the dreams kind of symbolic language. So that is the idea behind that. So yeah, just wanted to make this video about dreams. If you've got any questions, then ask me, and I will do my best to answer. Alright, thanks, bye.